Why are there so many shows starring Muppets and dozens of movies too? They said they'd watch every one and they mean it. It's something that they've got to do. So now they've pledged you a lifelong commitment. Muppets, Matthew and Sam.
Welcome to Commitment, the podcast where two friends have vowed to watch all things Muppets. I'm Matthew Gatos.
And I'm Sam Schultz.
And this week we are celebrating Christmas in July as we head into December of 1986.
Nice to get a little shot of the holiday spirit, huh? Don't you think?
Yeah, just a little Christmas injection
Just
here.
be a bit cozy when it's like 95 degrees outside.
Yeah, this week we watched some lingering Labyrinth promotion, but our main event was the 50-minute ABC TV special, The Christmas Toy, sponsored by Kraft. But before we get into talking about the Christmas toy, Sam, gotta ask, what are some of your favorite Christmas movies?
I love Muppet Family Christmas.
Great one.
As stupid an answer as that is on a podcast that I've done for several years about the Muppets, I think that's one of the better ones. And Muppet Christmas Carol, honestly, those are two that I watch every year.
Just Muppet ones. It's all Sam watches.
Those are ones I watch every year for sure. And like, I wouldn't have considered myself a gigantor Muppet fan before we started this podcast, but that was something that was like part of my life even before this this little experiment of ours. What you tell me some of yours and I'll think about it.
I mean, I like a lot of the classics, White Christmas, Christmas Vacation, Home Alone, run through the standards. I think it's worth noting we will watch Muppet Family Christmas this year pretty close to the holidays. So we'll get an appropriately timed Christmas special this year.
That's nice. I kind of, you know what, actually, I would say that there's two standouts that actually I don't like. And I feel like everything else, I will be like, fuck yes, load it up. I love any Christmas movie, honestly, love any Christmas movie. But if somebody says,
except,
let's watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Wow.
Or let's watch A Christmas Story, I'll say, I don't think I really feel like that. Christmas Story is much higher on that in that feeling than National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. There's just something about A Christmas Story that annoys me, and I don't know what it is, but I wish I did.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, and I think partially it is that my family was not a Christmas Story family. Like, we just never watched it when I was growing up, so I have no nostalgic attachment to it. I can watch it now and don't mind it, but I definitely, it is not, like, if I missed it this Christmas, I would not actually feel like I missed anything.
Totally. But I think most of the world at least pretends like that they don't feel that way. Like, there's
a reason it airs on TBS for like 48 hours like in a row.
Yeah, it's because a lot of people have decided to pretend like it's a good Christmas movie. That is the reason.
Or it's a really cheap Christmas movie for TBS to own and run 24 times. Are there any holiday movies that you watch out of season?
I would watch Nightmare Before Christmas out of season.
Yeah, that one is a weird one where I feel like it, no one can agree on which season is the right season to watch it in, so you can watch it anytime, I think.
You kind of watch it right in between. I'd watch, a lot of those Christmas flavored movies I would watch out of season too, like
a Gremlins.
I would certainly watch Gremlins out of season. But I do tend to keep Christmas where it belongs. I don't want to cheapen it. And I love Christmas and Halloween, so it is a struggle, but I do try to keep them sequestered. Do you watch them out of season?
I don't think so. I think there's probably some wintry movies that I'll watch out of season, like A Grumpy Old Men or something like that. But traditional like Christmas movies, like I'm not going to throw on Home Alone in May or anything.
But I'm also the kind of person who will watch like Christmas specials of TV shows instead of Christmas movies sometimes too. Or like I'll put on like the big long playlist of Christmas commercials from like the 70s to the 90s.
I like tossing on a random like variety show special of like Judy Garland's Christmas Spectacular 1962 or whatever. Are there any other holidays that you watch movies related to? Like, do you watch Groundhog Day on Groundhog Day?
Mm-hmm. I do. I watch Halloween movies. I try to watch a horror movie every day of
Oh,
October.
yeah. I guess horror movies. I'm thinking like, there's like one Thanksgiving movie. It's Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah.
So on
Totally.
Thanksgiving, I'm going to watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles because there's not other options. And it's a
Yeah.
great movie.
There's probably some people who have a Valentine's Day movie. There's got to be
There's
a
that
Valentine's
movie
Day
called Valentine's Day that I've never seen.
Yeah. No, Christmas got it pretty locked down,
Yeah.
I think.
Well, we are here to talk even more about Christmas. So, Sam, how about you tell everyone everything we watched this week?
First, we watched an episode of Saturday Superstore, which aired on November 29th, 1986. Jennifer Connelly is the guest because she's in London to attend the royal premiere, and she answers some questions about the labyrinth. Then Ludo comes in and walks around awkwardly for what feels like forever, and for some reason to me it was extremely annoying. Did you find it very annoying too?
I did.
I just wanted him to stand still.
Who's ever rocking around in that Ludo costume in London? I'm not a fan of them.
They were having too much fun.
Yeah. Read
Ludo's-
the room, Ludo.
That's not even really how Ludo acts. Ludo's kind of just
No.
like, hello, I'm Ludo.
Yeah, this is like bumbling idiot Ludo.
Yeah. Then on December 1st, the royal premiere of Labyrinth happens and is also televised. Hosts Nick Owen and Ann Diamond talk to various people involved in the movie, like Jennifer Connelly and Jim Henson, and they talk to a lot of people about the new museum of the moving image being built in London, for which this event is also partially a fundraiser. So they do that for a while. Then the royal couple, Princess Diana and Prince Charles, show up, and we watch them shake everyone's hand and chat while the host tells us whose hands they're shaking and who they're chatting with. Thrill as Prince Charles talks to the head of marketing for TriStar and the architect who designed the museum, but also we can't hear what they're saying. It is more boring than I could have ever imagined it would be, and definitely to me the most boring thing that we've watched for this show, and maybe among the most
Ooh.
boring things I've ever watched in my entire life.
We've watched some pretty boring things, Sam.
As boring as watching silent footage of Prince Charles shake a guy's hand and then a British person says, "That's the head of marketing for TriStar. That's the guy who designed the museum."
Yeah, I mean, I would push and say there's probably some, Perry Como or something that we've watched that was like at least less
At least they were doing
engaging.
something. At least
I
they
don't
were
know.
doing at least less. This was the whole time I was thinking like, who produced this? How could this be televised? Why would this happen? Why would there not be any glitz and glamour for this kind of thing? Like,
Because the glitz and glamour was the prince and princess, Sam. We are from a different culture.
that's probably
that does
what.
not
Yeah, it's just not
appreciate
doing it for
that.
me. It's just not doing it for me to see them shaking hands. But I guess to them, maybe to some of them, probably not all of them by a long shot. But I guess there must be a non-zero amount of British people who were really hooting and hollering to see the president of TriStar and Princess Diana talking. It was kind of, it's interesting to see Princess Diana. I think she's an interesting historical figure. I liked watching her talk to Jim. I liked watching her talk to Jennifer Connelly. I bet that was exciting for Jennifer Connelly.
I liked watching her run away from Ludo multiple times.
Well, then towards the end, she kind of comes back around. She's kind of like,
Yeah.
"Okay, it's this guy." She definitely is
Tries to talk
avoiding
to him a little bit.
him for yeah. Then we watched The Christmas Toy, which aired on ABC on December 6th, 1986. So get this: every time you're done playing with your toys and you leave the room, they come to life. But then they have to
Whoa,
pretend.
slow down, Sam. This concept is
Can
a
you
hard one to
follow me on
understand.
this one? But they also have to pretend not to be alive when people are around. Can you believe it? You ever heard
Wow.
such a thing?
Never.
But also, a little wrinkle here: if they are found not in the place where they were last left, they fucking die. And they lose their life force, becoming basically a corpse, but still to humans a toy, but to the other toys they are dead. So anyway, we're hanging out in a toy room full of toys that belong to a little girl named Jamie. One night they're running around just having a ball when they catch wind that it's Christmas Eve. This is very exciting to Rugby Tiger, a stuffed tiger who was Jamie's favorite Christmas present last year, because he thinks that it means, because it's Christmas, that he'll get to relive the elation of being opened up by Jamie on Christmas morning all over again. Apple the baby doll, however, knows the truth. She was Jamie's favorite Christmas toy from the year before Jamie got Rugby, and she knows that Rugby is about to have to watch Jamie fall in love with a new toy and be replaced. And be replaced just like Apple was. But before Apple can explain this to Rugby, he's already gone, sneaking his way down the hall to get in Jamie's present under the tree so that she can open it and find him the next morning. Mew is a cat toy who's treated like dirt by all the other toys, but especially Rugby. But Mew is also the kindest soul in the toy room. After witnessing Ditz the Clown fucking die when he's found out of place by Jamie's mother, while attempting to stop Rugby, Mew decides that he cannot let the same thing happen to his buddy Rugby. He goes out and catches up with Rugby, but finds him far too determined to stop. And also, Rugby thinks that everyone is just jealous of him, and that's why they're trying to stop him. So, Mew decides the best thing to do is to go along with Rugby and try to talk some sense into him and show him the truth of what's going to happen on Christmas Day. So they get down to the tree and they open the box, and to Rugby's confusion, it is already occupied by, get this also, a Space Warrior action figure named Meteora. Apple then catches up with the duo and finally gets a chance to tell Rugby her side of the Christmas Day story, which is much sadder than Rugby's side of the story. And Mew convinces Rugby that he will fucking die if Jamie opens the gift and sees Rugby inside of it, because Rugby's supposed to be in the toy room. So technically he would be out of place and die. Rugby finally gets it and sees that everybody was trying to help him and they weren't jealous of him. However, get this also, new toys don't know that they're toys. And Meteora is running amok in the living room, thinking that she's a space warrior on a strange planet. What a concept. The toys sing Meteora a song about how cool she is and how she's about to be queen of the toy room if only she would get back in the box, which she does. The toys sneak back to the toy room, but Mew gets caught out of place by Jamie's mom and fucking dies. But it's okay because Rugby confesses that Mew is his best friend and sings him a song beautiful enough that it brings Mew back from the inky black void of death, which they spend an inordinate amount of time describing. There's a whole scene.
There's a whole scene.
They then sing the beautiful song to a pile of toy corpses that they keep in a corner of the playroom, including Ditz, who they've thrown on top of this pile, and they all come back to life too. On Christmas morning, Jamie brings all of her new toys in and tells Meteora that she loves her, but then also says that she loves all her toys, including Rugby and Apple. So she leaves, and they're all happy, and they all dance, and they sing, and they run around, and that's the end of the thing.
And Kermit's there sometimes.
And sometimes Kermit just wanders in. I love at the end, he's like, well, that all seems like you're wrapped up pretty nicely. It's true. Kermit did.
Well, before we talk about the Christmas toy, we should get the labyrinth things out of the way. On November 29th, 1986, we have the episode of Saturday Superstore. This is the same show that we saw Jim and Kermit on earlier in 1986 when they were reviewing music videos.
Yes, which would think Jennifer, at the end of this, they say, Jennifer Connelly, come review music videos with us, which I would have loved to see that part.
Yeah, we did not see that part, but they do mention inviting her over to the pop panel, which is apparently the section of the show where Jim and Kermit were hanging out. And Ludo implies that he would also like to be on the pop panel at some point.
And I think they maybe say he can stand back there. So he might have been in that part
yeah.
too.
Yeah. But yeah, we head into this segment talking about apparently last week on this show, they had a Design a Maze contest, and the winner of that gets to go to the royal premiere.
At the end, they reveal that is her prize. And it's like, whoa. Yeah. It's like you win a coloring contest and you get to meet Joe Biden. What the hell? That's quite an escalation.
Yeah. I guess Saturday Superstore must have been a pretty
I think looking at the
popular
Wikipedia,
show.
Looking at the Wikipedia, you can kind of get the sense that it was huge.
Man, I don't, different cultures. Why is there just a room full of shuffling bored kids in so many British shows that we watch?
I don't know. And they're so bad at covering up the sound of the kids just like shifting around in their chairs and stuff like that.
Like, you can even see Jennifer Connelly a couple times get distracted by noises from like kids just moving around. And I'm like, what? They don't need to be there at all.
At one point, it is because Ludo has come out.
Yes, which is fair.
But also before that, you just see kids like with their hands on their chins, and they're just
Mhm.
like, I don't know who this
Like,
person
2 of them are
is.
actually looking at Jennifer Connelly, and the rest are just, like,
Yeah.
looking at each other, mingling around. I'm like, why? It's like,
And
the
they're
idea is that this is a
there.
coffee shop. One, all these kids are sitting there, no coffee in front of them.
Yeah, weird.
But it's just a weird energy. And we've seen multiple shows, I feel like this, like other Saturday Superstore episodes, but I feel like there was also like Breakfast Time or some Saturday
Something.
morning show
Oh, it's like when Jim
that we
was sitting in
watched.
that crowd of children, and
Right.
then you
And like
see all the children visibly bored. I don't want to see the
yeah,
audience visibly bored.
it's very odd. But yeah, speaking of boring, we get to see a clip from the labyrinth of the tunnel boring machine. You're welcome. And then we get some boring questions. Like, are you looking forward to the premiere? How long did it take to make the movie? What's Hoggle like? What's David Bowie like?
Yeah.
And that's kind of, there's nothing really exciting happening during that Q&A session. So they decide to
Yeah.
send Ludo out there to change things up.
Uh-huh.
And he just kind of meanders around for a little while.
God, and there's like this guy following him around. Like, that guy was part of the problem too, because he's like pulling on him and like
Yeah.
pulling on his tail, and
That's the
probably
guy,
like,
I'm pretty sure, the host from the music video segment that we
oh,
watched before.
yeah, I think you must be right. I just don't want to see them anymore. But it feels like they do it forever, and they
Yeah.
never get around to being like at least when the thing where Jim's sitting on that throne surrounded by children, he is like,
Right.
this is the remote control that we use to make the doozer go. Just, show off the remote control they use to make Ludo go or something like that. But it's just like something about it was deeply annoying me.
Well, because it's like really it seems like the idea was send Ludo out there, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
And he goes out there and so he just wanders around and they kind of keep saying like, oh, he's headed straight towards the camera.
Yeah.
But he's not even really. And I feel like they're trying to make him seem like he's a monster, like
Yeah, he's like
terrorizing
running
the set.
amok or something.
Yeah.
But then he actually almost is running into cameras and stuff, and you can see the cameraman like,
Yeah.
back up a little bit, bud.
I don't know,
Yeah.
kind of awkward, kind of boring. And then they just kind of say, hey, how about you guys stick around for the pop panel?
Yeah. This is the kind of thing, since I've been a producer, where if I was producing this show and this was happening, I would be flop sweating. I'd be like, I fucked up. I did not prep anybody well enough for this.
I'm sure when you make a, live or live to tape kind of show, producing like once a week like this,
Mm-hmm.
there's probably a lot of chaos happening in it. So this is probably not outside the realm of the usual for these kinds of shows.
Yeah. A 3-hour long show that happens every week. You kind of just sometimes have to be like, we'll just kill 10 minutes. He's just going to walk around. It's going to be okay. I guess you're right.
If anything, they're thrilled he takes this long to walk around because it just fills some time. Well, then we watched the December 1st, 1986 royal premiere of Labyrinth, which was an ITV special hosted by Nick Owen and Ann Diamond, both of whom went on to have very long TV careers in England. Well, Ann Diamond talks to Jennifer Connelly at the beginning, while, there's a lot of this where they're talking, and then all of a sudden it's like, we have to cut to a clip right now.
Yeah. Hard cut to a clumsily picked clip.
Yeah, sometimes with a weird transition that I'm like, did you tell the person that you were going to do this mid conversation?
There was a big one where it was like, after the clip started, I hope she leaned over and said, we're going to play a clip right now.
Right. This is the people at home
I
are
was
seeing
supposed
this.
to say the word quiet, and David Bowie said it for me. Don't worry about it.
And Brian Froud or whoever's standing there just like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah. I interrupted our interview midway by telling you to be quiet. I'm so sorry, but it will make sense later.
They talked to Jennifer Connelly a bit more after the clip about how young she is and how going to school during filming was hard and how she plans on going to college while kicking off her acting career after this.
And she does.
She does.
I don't know if she goes to college, but she does kick off.
She goes to college. I think she goes to Yale, maybe, but I don't think she finishes college.
Oh, okay.
But she went.
If you're like in a big movie, do you just get to go to whatever college you want to, or no?
I think it probably, it's not that easy because I can think of like certain really famous actors at schools probably would be like, yeah, we're good. We actually don't want you at our school.
That's true. Yeah. Probably don't hurt though. For the
No,
most
I'm sure it
part.
doesn't hurt. We see the tunnel boring clip again.
Yep.
It seems to be a favorite for the TV shows.
I guess it looks cool.
Yeah, it's definitely like shows off the budget a bit.
They're like, what's the only interesting part of this movie where something scary is happening? Okay.
I'm surprised they don't show even more David Bowie clips.
Yeah. And the ones that they do show are weird. And I think if it was me, I'd pick the hand wall as one of my things. I think that's a really cool part.
Yeah. Well, Nick Owen returns to tell us that this premiere is fundraising in support of the new Museum of the Moving Image, which apparently has nothing to do with the Museum of the Moving Image in New York, but did open like 3 days apart. The English one was opened on September 15th, 1988, just a few days after the one in New York, and at the time was the world's largest museum devoted entirely to cinema and television. And then it was closed in 1999.
Oh.
And at first they were like, it's temporary, we're just going to move it. And then in 2002, they were like, clearly, we're not moving this thing.
Damn.
So it's just not going to reopen. Then we get what is maybe my favorite interview of the entire special. Margot Kidder is here.
Yeah.
Pretending to be thrilled about working on Superman 4.
Yeah, they ask her which Superman she's working on. She's like, Superman 4. We're all getting older. She seems like a hoot.
Oh, yeah. I think Margot Kidder, their person, is a hoot.
Yeah.
I think she famously did not enjoy working on Superman 4 at all because her and Christopher Reeve were not getting along on that one.
Oh, no, that sucks.
So I think he wrote and maybe also directed that one.
Uh,
So I think he was a bit of an egomaniac from what I've heard.
That's too bad.
But yeah, she talks about how she was in a harness all day flying around and said she feels like throwing up. And then she talks about wanting to go on and write and direct, which in looking up her IMDb does not seem like a thing she actually went on to do.
I think she had some health problems right after this.
Oh. I know very little about Margaret Kidder other than, having watched her in Superman and thinking she's great.
But there's a lot of Superman content in this special, which is interesting.
This feels like a PR move where, Superman 4 is filming close by, and they're just kind of like, hey, who's in town? Who's filming?
Yeah.
Send the stars of Superman 4 over there. Oh, Christopher Reeve? No. Margot Kidder and the new character who has not been in a previous Superman movie.
No. And it is a PR thing for sure, but it also feels more just like what you said, where it's like, who's here?
Yeah.
How many movies could possibly be filming in London around this?
It's not like Superman 3 was a runaway hit and they were like, oh, God, a fourth one?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
England can't wait for the fourth Superman.
The Quest for Peace. Sure to be everyone's favorite Superman movie.
England's favorite superhero, Superman. Well, Anne is with Brian Froud next, asking him about the design process. And that's the one where they are just interrupted by a labyrinth clip pretty much because I guess she's done talking to Brian.
She's also like, the amount of times that she asks creative people questions that betrays that she has no idea how the creative process works is staggering. In this one, she's just like, and do you think of the characters yourself? What else would you do?
Right. It's like, well, I guess I designed them, so yes is the answer to your question.
I don't know how to answer this. Do I see them for real? Are there real little guys running around?
There are twice, both in this and in the Saturday Superstore thing, where the host sort of asked Jennifer Connelly, as if she's a 5-year-old, like, was there ever a moment where you thought they were real? And she has to be like, well, no. Like, you can act like they're real, like you can treat them like they're real, but I didn't actually believe they were real.
Yeah, she does a little bit worse of a job hiding the facial expression of, no, stupid. But, and then the host in this one asks her if she was ever scared. Scared of what? I guess you could be a little scared that one would, like, crunch you because they're made of servos or whatever.
I mean, when they throw you down a 40-foot pit of hands...
She meant
probably not the most comforting.
She was talking specifically about when working with the puppets, though. Like
Hoggle, though, look at him.
You
wouldn't want to look at Hoggle too long.
If you turned around and Hoggle was behind you, I guess you would go. Ah.
Well, Terry Jones is next with Nick Owen, where Nick Owen tries to give him credit for a Monty Python-like idea with the Bog of Eternal Stench, which Terry Jones is like, that was Jim.
Yeah, Terry Jones spends this whole interview saying, I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that. And especially
Yeah,
like
well,
the Wikipedia really makes it sound like I don't know. It just seems like he didn't write the script as much as like if just reading the history of the movie, I
yeah.
wouldn't think that he would be the person who got like so much credit for writing this script. But I guess he's a big name.
Yeah, I think he's just the most famous person who worked on the script.
Yeah. But he just basically did like a punch up pass, it seems like.
Well, I believe there was another punch-up pass after that
Yeah.
from Elaine May, who I think had the
Oh
last run
yeah.
at it.
Right.
I don't remember who had it last, but I think she did. But yeah, he mentions a little bit of an Easter egg that I did not know before, which is that he says he tried out for the voice of the worm, but was replaced.
And he says by Jim's son, which is not true.
Not true.
But they run it on TV like it's true, which really made
Yes.
me think like, oh, that's why so many people believe so many little details about
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
that aren't true. It's because TV used to just say whatever it wanted and you couldn't look it up.
Hey, Sam.
What?
Surprise. That's what we're doing all the time on this podcast.
Well, we can at least Wikipedia it, you know?
Right, but when we don't and we just say we think something and then someone listens to this podcast and doesn't look it up themselves, guess what
We're
they're going to
making-
believe?
We're making history in a way, aren't we?
Yeah, that's a way to say it. We're rewriting history, maybe.
Yeah, I'm thinking still about Jennifer Connelly, and I think that the way that she talks about the puppets is like really nice too. I love how she reframes it. I think both times, but at least in the Saturday Superstore, maybe, where she's like, "Well, there's like a whole team of people, and there's somebody inside
Yeah.
of Hoggle, and like the amount of time that they spend on it is staggering." I think that was like a really cool answer of her to give when I feel like other actors might just be like, "Ooh, yeah, they were real," but she's so generous with giving them credit too.
Yeah, like they want to go down the route of, do you think these things are real? And she's like, no, it's like a lot of hard work
People,
by a team of
yeah.
people.
Yeah, and that's even like the how long did it take to make this movie question. I'm sure in her head she was also thinking like, well, it took a lot of people like years and years to make this movie. I was just there for a little while.
Next up, Anne is with Mariel Hemingway, who is also in Superman 4, along with Margot Kidder.
Yeah.
She
Like
also
a
mentions the
tertiary
fact.
character in Superman 4, I'm pretty sure.
Well, she's the new love interest.
Yeah, I guess,
potentially
yeah.
in Superman 4, competing with Lois Lane.
I don't think she's mentioned in the Wikipedia summary of the movie, so
Oh wow.
I don't know.
Maybe they cut down her part from what she thought she was doing.
Could be.
Next up, we get to see the man himself, Jim Henson, who is with Nick Owen, who talks a lot about how this was also a collaboration, the same way Jennifer Connelly does. And he says it's hard to pinpoint whose ideas were whose when thinking about different parts of the movie, which makes sense.
Yeah, because they ask him questions that also seem to be leading him towards saying, yes, I did all of it. I thought of everything. They say, like, what goes on in your mind? And he probably is thinking, like, not much. I let other people do all the thinking for me.
He gives my favorite answer to that because the guy asks, are you always thinking of creatures? And he says, well, every now and then when you're going down the street, you see somebody and say, oh boy, that guy would make a wonderful puppet.
Yeah.
And I like, one, like out of context sounds like a horror movie. But I like the idea of Jim Henson looking at a guy and just staring for a second. And the guy's like, wait, what? Do I have something on my face? He's like, you'd make a wonderful puppet.
My life's about to be ruined. People are going to be saying, you look just like that. The stupidest puppet ever built.
Yeah. That's why my neighbor Todd was Beauregard. But yeah, he praises Brian Froud's design work and then awkwardly backs out of frame. We see him like linger there for a second, like just on the edge of the frame. You like can see his hands, and he like glances in a little bit, like, should I go?
Done? They got to get some. England needs producers badly.
They're all lined up to meet who arrives next, Sam. They're all busy because the royal car arrives with Prince Charles and Princess Diana.
This is really just something that's impossible for me, I guess, to put myself in that space of being excited about this. I wish I could, but I just can't.
Well,
I mean, they're talking about what dress she's wearing. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's interesting. I guess they do that on the red carpet. But this is just like somebody I don't know. It's just like every. I guess this is part of why her life was so hectic. That's like every single thing she does is just like that, a level of scrutiny and that many people standing around her screaming. That would be horrible.
Well, in some context, Charles and Diana's relationship, famously quite terrible, pretty much from the start. But 1986, this year, is notable for a couple of reasons because this is the year that both of them started having affairs.
Oh, okay. I could place this in exactly which episode of The Crown it takes place during.
Yeah, I did ask Devin. It does not seem like Ludo is in The Crown.
No,
We
he's
don't
not.
get this
He's
event
not.
recreated.
I've watched that. I loved that show, and I loved when she showed up in that show. I think that show really got good when Diana's character does, but Ludo doesn't make an appearance though. They dust him off for it.
But yeah, this is around the time that they had started living pretty much separate lives, aside from, I guess, when they had to go meet Jim Henson. And this is when Charles had started his affair with current queen, Camilla.
Yeah.
That was earlier in the year. And then Diana started her affair with James Hewitt, like literally, apparently a few weeks before this premiere. Well, the royal couple first has to meet people responsible for the museum, which is just the first floor of this theater where all the boring people hang out, I guess.
Yeah. The architects of the museum, like the accountants of the museum, I think is one of the people whose hands they shake.
Yeah, I was kind of, when they started introducing them, I was like, oh, that's kind of shocking that they all get to be invited to this thing.
Yeah.
And then when they finished up with the row and they went upstairs to the cool people club, I was like, oh, so they invited them, but they don't let them hang out with the cool kids.
Right. They don't maybe get to go in and watch the movie. Maybe they do. I don't know.
It is surprising sometimes about like premieres where a lot of people don't actually go in and watch the movie after they walk the red
I
carpet.
didn't know that.
A lot of times they will just leave.
Like because they want to just leave? Or
yeah, I don't think they like are told to leave, but
Okay.
like they. I think there's a lot of actors who you'll hear talking in interviews like, "Oh yeah, I've never watched any of my movies."
Oh,
And it's like, well, you
yes,
were
I
at the
guess that
premiere,
makes
so
sense.
I guess you just left.
They just snuck out the back door when it was time. I was really hoping we'd see the girl who won the maze competition.
Yeah, part of me was like, is she the little girl giving her flowers? I don't think so.
No, she was the daughter of one of the person who ran the theater or something like that. They said who she was.
I'm just remembering that I went to a Hollywood premiere one time.
Oh, well, for what?
Hot Rod.
Wow. Did you watch the movie?
Yeah.
Was it cool?
It was all right, but it
Okay.
was, in the lobby, I got to talk to Jason Schwartzman and Sarah Silverman.
Whoa. What'd you say to them? Hello?
Just, big fan. Hi, how's it going? They were both extremely nice.
Wow.
Sarah Silverman was extremely nice, and her phone started ringing while we were talking, and she was like overly apologetic to me that her phone was ringing mid-conversation. I was like, no, that's fine. You're Sarah Silverman. You gave me 5 seconds. That's enough. But the coolest part was when leaving the movie, like after the movie is done, like the cast and crew stood along the middle aisle, so you could like walk by and like shake hands and
like good game, like at the end of a
Yeah.
baseball game.
yeah, you're basically congratulating that cast and crew, and everyone's obviously going up to Andy Samberg and all the SNL guys, and I notice, hey, Lorne Michaels is like not shaking hands and talking to anyone, like no one's
Whoa.
greeting him and seeing him, so I was like, I'm gonna say hi to Lorne Michaels, and I did.
How'd that go? These are hello.
Oh, I just shook his hand
Nice
and I
to
said
meet
like,
you.
good job on the movie or something like that.
That
But
Matthew Gatos, he's going places.
no, I will not claim to have actually had a real human connection or conversation with any of those people at that. But it was a very cool thing to go to. That just happened to me and my girlfriend at the time. We're walking around Hollywood Boulevard that day, and people were like, "Hey, we've got extra tickets for the Hollywood premiere of Hot Rod. You want to go?" And I was like, "Sure."
That's so much. That's not the reason I was thinking that you got to go.
Why else would I get to go?
I don't know. I thought maybe you knew somebody who worked on it or something.
No,
They just
I'm not
handed
important.
Just handed you tickets.
Yeah, they're trying to fill seats, Sam.
Yeah, I guess so.
I just want the premiere to look impressive.
The glitz and glamour of Hollywood, huh?
Yeah, I did not get to walk the red carpet. I had to go in the side entrance of the Man's Chinese Theater.
That'd be hilarious if you showed up and they were like, you gotta walk the red carpet, man.
Well, getting back into the premiere of Labyrinth, once the royal couple makes it upstairs, Anne and Nick start discussing if this movie would be appropriate for the princes to watch.
Yes, I suppose so.
They say yes, but it's worth saying that at the time, William was 4.5 and Harry was 2.
Oh, well, maybe not. Maybe they just at worst wouldn't understand what was happening at all.
William's going to think Harry's going to get kidnapped by goblins.
Yeah. Maybe he'd want that, though,
Ooh, maybe he would.
Probably still wants that. Every night he's going to bed.
Every night before he goes to bed, he's like, I hope the goblins take my brother away. But then the royal couple has to seemingly meet every single person who was attached to this movie in any possible way.
And we have to watch them do it.
We do. And then, yeah, Jim is standing next to Ludo, having the time of his life, showing off Ludo to Prince
Yeah.
Charles.
Yeah.
Being like, look at his hand, feel it, touch it.
And Prince Charles loved this movie, is that right? Or he like laughed during the farting part, and that
right,
seems
I
like
think
he
that's
must
what we
have
had
loved it.
read.
Yeah.
Is that like the only person who laughed at the Bog of Eternal Stench farting noises was Prince Charles.
Yes. And knowing what I know about him from The Crown, I feel like that version of him from that show would have also been deeply into this. He would have been like, this is amazing. This is the best thing I've ever seen.
Princess Diana does try to engage with whoever is performing Ludo and leans in and says, it must be a bit warm in there.
Oh, okay. You could make it out, or you lipped read
Yeah,
what was going on?
you could hear it.
Okay.
Yeah. And Ludo just kind of and nods.
Don't break the illusion, Princess Di. Come on.
And then Richard Attenborough asks Ludo if he can bow or curtsy, which he attempts and scares away Princess Diana.
Curtsies. Yeah.
For a second, I thought like she ran so quickly and so far away from him when he went to curtsy that I thought she was just going to skip over Jennifer Connelly entirely.
That would have been so sad.
Thankfully, she comes back and talks to Jennifer Connelly while Ludo looms in the background.
Yeah.
That was my favorite part of this. Throughout, like, while they're showing Princess Diana meeting, like, you know, the president of TriStar or whoever, you just get, like, an out-of-focus Ludo face.
He's always back there, yeah.
And yeah, it just sort of ends when a little girl who seems very nervous gives Princess Diana a bouquet of flowers. And then a little boy who's also very nervous gives Princess Diana and Prince Charles their official programs for the premiere.
And I guess some people watched this whole thing on TV, watched people going to a movie, and they said, great, I love that.
Yep. And then, unlike the Oscars, you don't get to watch the thing they're at.
No.
I guess it's more like the Met Gala of anything.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true. But
we don't watch the Met Gala.
But there's only 2 people that you care about.
Right. But there's a giant monster there.
I suppose the giant monster's
So
like,
if Ludo was at the Met Gala, would it be better?
that would be cool. Like a Met Gala based on Labyrinth. I think people would really like that.
Ooh, yeah. But that does it for now, at least, for our Labyrinth watching. I don't know if we've got any
I hope
weird,
not.
lingering
This
Labyrinth
made me be like,
things.
I'm done. I don't want to see any more Labyrinth stuff.
Well, thankfully, it's time to move on to the December 6th, 1986 TV special, The Christmas Toy, which aired on ABC up against The Facts of Life and 227 on NBC.
What's 227?
Oh, that was just a normal sitcom. I don't remember the plot, but I remember the theme song. Over on CBS, there was a TV show that I had never heard of called Downtown, which was a crime drama starring Mariska Hargitay and Robert Englund.
Oh, wow. Freddy Krueger?
Freddy Krueger himself. Not in scary makeup.
Not dressed like Freddy Krueger. He was probably extremely hot at this point, so...
Yeah, this was just after Nightmare on Elm Street. Although I think in the 80s, people didn't give a shit.
What do you mean?
Like, not about Robert Englund, but I feel like a monster movie actor maybe didn't get the respect they deserved in the 80s.
Robert Englund, nobody cared about. You are exactly right. Freddy Krueger was a star for, like, children loved him for some reason.
Yeah.
And
I'm not saying Freddy Krueger wasn't respected. I'm saying Robert Englund wasn't respected.
Respected. Freddy probably actually also got more famous after Nightmare on Elm Street 3, which was the one with the Dream Warriors, and not more kid friendly, but definitely had like the Goonies vibe of like we're plucky kids on a mission, even though a lot of them die horribly. At this point, it was just 1 and 2, and I think 2 was kind of received strangely, and 3 would be the one that launched the Freddy's career.
Yeah, at the time he was still doing a lot of TV shows like Night Court and MacGyver and Knight Rider and all that stuff. But the original airing of this special was sponsored by Kraft, which meant that every commercial break consisted of commercials giving you recipes that you could make at home for your holiday celebrations.
Whoa, is there a version of this with those commercials intact?
There's not. You can. If you wanted to do a weird watching experience. Somebody has taken all the commercials and uploaded them as a compilation to YouTube.
Oh, just take the next
step. So you could make your own version, I guess, of the original airing. But you can go watch all the commercials back to back on YouTube and then go watch the Christmas Toy separately.
Okay. Or pause the Christmas Toy, watch the commercial.
Every time. Yeah, every time it fades to black, be like, okay, pause, line it up. Got to sync up my viewings. It's also how Perry Como's Craft Music Hall worked back in the 60s,
Right.
which we watched the Muppets do the reindeer performance on once before.
Mm-hmm.
But Sam, what are your overall thoughts on the Christmas toy?
I fucking loved it. I wasn't
Fuck yeah, Sam, me too.
I wasn't prepared. I think Bunny Picnic was such a letdown that I was going
Yeah.
into this being like, this is just going to be a reskinned Bunny Picnic. Absolutely not. This was
No.
delightful. And the toy puppets were so good. They looked
Mhm.
like toys, they moved like toys. They were so convincing. The set was so convincing as a playroom, and it had like, I don't know, just like fun little characters. And the story basically is just them walking up and down a hallway a couple times. But it is
Yeah.
interesting enough, and the conversations they have are interesting enough, and just like the nitty gritty details they get into that Toy Story doesn't, where you come away from Toy Story like, but what does happen? If you, I mean, I guess Sid sees the toys alive and they don't die. They don't fucking
No.
die. But this is just like, it's not afraid to get into the weird aspects of, if your toys were alive, it would be like this. At one point, they say, "Good thing toys can't feel pain." Not a necessary line to put in your movie. At no point did I
Yeah.
ever think these toys can feel pain. But
It is like somebody had the idea for Toy Story. We're asking all of those questions that people ask and said, no, we have to address every single one.
yes, does it hurt? Did it hurt when this toy tiger fell down the stairs? No, toys can't feel pain, of course.
But they can die.
No, I had a really good time with it. Rachel was watching it while she was listening to a book on tape, so she wasn't listening to the words.
Right.
And when it ended, she took her headphones out and she's like, "That was great." It's like, I didn't hear a single word of it. But she's like, "No, but the toys looked so good."
Yeah, the puppets are extremely impressive, and the puppeteering is really good too. And there's times where, much like Fraggle Rock, you realize afterwards, you're like, I don't really know how they did that, but it
Yeah.
looked really convincing.
Yeah. They go back to using marionettes. Like, there's so
Yeah.
many parts of this that are like, oh, Emmett Otter, I'm getting Emmett Otter from this in a good way.
Yeah, I mean, even returning to the sort of Tales from Muppet Land conceit of Kermit being there
Yeah.
to introduce and
That
end
felt
the
nice
special.
too. No matter how often I see that guy, it's still, when he pops up, I'm still like, hey, it's Kermit. I love this guy. I love this little fool.
I also, yeah, just a bold choice to make a Christmas movie where toys can die.
And then there was a point where I was thinking, what do they do with them after they die? And they do indeed
Oh,
show,
don't worry, Sam. They'll
do
show you.
indeed show the corner of the room where they pile up the corpses. And it's like, these people's lives are a nightmare.
Well, my question about that is, one of the things they don't explore is like, are the kids playing with those toys still every day and returning them to that pile, or do they like every night have to deal with, oh no, Ditz is just left in the middle of the room and we have another corpse on our hands.
Next to me. And it's also like, they're already dead, so we can put them in a pile, and they can't die again. So when the kids come in and they're like, why did these particular toys always end up in a pile right here?
Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever watch this again, but I did love it.
Oh, I think this seems like something I would watch on Christmas again. Like, this will get added to my Emmett Otter. Emmett Otter's another one from that I didn't mention. I think I watched, how many years ago did we watch Emmett Otter?
Oh, 20?
A couple?
I don't know.
A couple years ago? Anyway, however many Christmases have happened since then, be it one or two, I did watch Emmett Otter both of or that one time. And I watched it with my mom. I think my mom and I watched Emmett Otter. So
we had 3 Christmases since we watched Emmett Otter.
Then I've watched it every time, and it has joined the like, this will be my background Christmas thing while I think maybe we put it on while we were decorating the tree one year. It's like, this is one of the movies. I feel like this is going to be one of the movies. Hypothetically, if I ever have children, I feel like I would show them this movie, even though it's disturbing in a way. Maybe to be like, look, you got to be nice to your toys. They come to life at night and they can die. Walk into the room really slowly to give them a chance.
Announce your presence. Wear a bell or something.
Yeah.
I think just for me, the part of the reason I enjoyed it so much was the surprise element, that I also went into it expecting another bunny picnic, expecting to be disappointed. And then being so pleasantly surprised not only by the overall story, but by the choices at every spot to just really catch me off guard and be like, oh, they're doing that.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's weird. It's deeply
Bold.
weird.
Yeah, and I love the way they don't focus on the humans like at all. They
Mhm.
keep them in shadow for most of it. We get to see faces now and then, mostly of the kids, but the parents. I think you see the mom's face like once. You don't see the dad's face, I think, at all. And there's a mysterious older sister who we never see. But I think for me, it's it's great. I will say my biggest negative of it is that I feel like they could maybe have used like one big central conflict as opposed
Mm.
to a handful of conflicts that all are resolved rather quickly.
Yeah, it is really. It's pretty subtle. When I was writing the synopsis, it is kind of like it's clear why rugby's doing it, but it's kind of hard to sum up exactly what is going on with rugby. And also the thing with Meteora resolves itself very quickly, and that is set up
Right.
as like a big problem that isn't necessarily that big of a
Yeah.
problem. They don't have to like force her back into the box and like tape her in there or anything.
Yeah. I would say my other negative would be the songs. I don't love
Hmm.
the songs.
I think I liked the one they kept revisiting. I didn't think it was a great song, but I think them revisiting the feeling of being opened up for Christmas,
Right.
and then Apple getting her version of that, like the sad version of that. I think that was very effective. Um, and of course, the song that they sing at the end, the Christmas song that they end up singing in Muppet Family Christmas. I like
Right.
that song a lot too. But other
Yeah.
than that, I don't even remember them in particular.
It was kind of weird at first because you hear the melody of that song
Mm-hmm.
playing at the very beginning when Kermit is climbing into the chimney,
Yeah.
Santa Claus. And I was like, why do I know this melody?
Yeah.
Like, I knew I had never seen a Christmas toy or the Christmas toy, but like somehow I was recognizing the music and I was like, did they rip off another song for their music? And
No,
then
Muppet
realizing
Family
later on, it was
Christmas
like,
ripped this off.
oh,
They didn't even invite the freaking toys to the Muppet Family Christmas. That's actually my biggest
because they'll
complaint now.
die.
Yeah, I guess so. Is like it's in the indignity of making that beautiful song and then not getting to be in the Muppet Family Christmas with literally every other Muppet basically that's ever existed.
They can't leave their house,
There
Sam. You
could have
have to
been a
invite the whole
scene.
Jones family.
They could have lived in grandma's attic or something, you know? There could have just been a part where they were like,
Mm.
"What's up?" Maybe Elmo goes up and they don't die. They're like, "What's we didn't die. Elmo doesn't count for some reason or something."
He's
I don't
close
know.
enough to a toy.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, I guess they don't die when they see Kermit. Even though at first,
Yeah, Muppets don't count for this rule because Muppets understand the whimsy in the world.
well, at the beginning, Kermit implies that they won't come to life until he leaves the room.
That's true.
But at
then
the
he
end, once
just
everything's
wanders in.
resolved,
Yeah.
yeah.
So nonchalant. I didn't even notice that he was there. And then he says something and I was like, whoa. It's like that video where the gorilla like comes out and does the dance while the people are passing the basketball.
Yeah.
It was just like I really did not
Like, I
see
bet
him
you
at
didn't
all.
notice the Kermit in the
Kermit
background of this
walked
toy
through.
room.
Yeah.
I looked up a few fun facts about this. One of my favorites was that apparently in Brazil, this was released on VHS at one point, and the Portuguese title translates to "The Muppets Christmas."
No.
Feels a little misleading there, Brazil. Also, when the special was released on VHS in 1993, they made what I think might be a good choice, and they cut out the very, very beginning section where there's just a bunch of random toys yelling, "Am I the Christmas toy? Am I the Christmas toy? Am I the Christmas toy?"
Oh yeah, I thought that was cute though, because those toys are so freaking cute. But they wouldn't think they're
But
the Christmas toy. That doesn't make any sense.
Right, everyone else but Rugby understands what's going on here.
Yeah, right.
So, like, the idea of being the Christmas toy is something that only really Rugby is attached to.
Yeah.
So, like, that scene in the context of the story of the movie doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, but like it is such a delight, I guess, to see that. Just when I watched that part, I was like, "Oh, this is what kind of movie this is going to be." Because the toys are just so satisfying looking.
Yeah.
They're such great puppets, like new puppets, like nothing that they've done before.
That's very true.
Because they're like stiff, but they reminded me so much of some of the stuff that we saw maybe in Muppets on Puppets, where he's showing like puppets from around the world, where it's like the line of soldiers who like all march, or,
Right.
like, yeah, just like the little like duck in the boat, and the line of soldiers on top of that castle who are like
Mhm.
clacking their little mouths while they're singing.
Yeah, there's really only like one or two puppets that look like traditional Muppets.
Yeah.
We've got Belmont the Rocking Horse,
Hmm.
performed by Richard Hunt, sounding a lot like Gladys.
Yeah,
And then we've got the telephone, looks like a Muppet telephone.
that's true. I'd say, I mean, Rugby is almost a cheat, I feel like, because he is stuffed tiger, but it also could just be any Muppet tiger, really.
Yeah, like he has some like Bunny Picnic DNA in him as far as design goes.
Yeah. And I also think Mew is like so fucking cute. Mew
Mew
is
is very,
like
very cute.
one of the best Muppet characters I feel like we've ever met. He's such a little
Yeah,
sweetie.
I wouldn't disagree. It's also worth noting there's a chance that maybe through the years you have seen a version of this without Kermit, because similar to other Muppet projects that, Disney didn't own, for a while, this was only available in versions that had Kermit cut out of it,
Mm-hmm.
which I would love to see how the end of this movie
Yeah.
finishes without Kermit.
That part is kind of a reprise, I suppose. Could be unnecessary, but definitely missing something without him poking his little head in.
But kicking off the movie, we do have that short little intro jump scare where the first thing is the Jack in the Box just popping up. And then we get Kermit on the roof dressed as Santa, introducing us to the Jones family, which is the parents, Molly, Jamie, and Jesse, and Ouija, the cat.
Yeah, like the Ouija board. I looked it up too. It's a Ouija board.
Yeah, the captions don't spell it that way.
They don't?
The captions spell it Weegie.
Oh, maybe
Like
they're
you would
not.
pronounce it.
Yeah, I guess that maybe it's too hard to parse what that word is.
Yeah.
So Kermit's telling us this, and then he falls down the chimney, and then they cut into the toy room, and you just see Kermit's limp. It's like when they throw a Muppet. He sees limp, lifeless body flop to the floor of the chimney.
But I do like that he also does tell us that basically we're going to be in the playroom. We're not really going to deal with the Joneses. Like,
Yeah.
I mention them because they're important to the story, but they're not the stars of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he decides to go right back up the chimney after saying, "Watch what these toys do as soon as I leave the room."
But he has to crawl up the chimney like a little goblin.
And we hear Jim in maybe the most Kermit not sounding like Kermit moment we've had in a long time.
Yeah.
Where as he's climbing up the chimney, he says something along the lines of like, "It's harder going up than it was coming down," or something. But it just sounds like Jim Henson. It does not sound like Kermit. And then we kick off the story of the toys with the song "Toys Love to Play." It's worth noting as far as who's behind, the work of this film. We do have the director, Eric Till, who was the director of like 16 episodes of Fraggle Rock.
Mm-hmm.
The writer is Laura Phillips, who was a contributor to the Labyrinth script and also wrote 10 episodes of Fraggle Rock. The music and lyrics are by Jeff Moss, who did the song and score for The Muppets Take Manhattan, but also is the writer of Sesame Street songs like The People in Your Neighborhood, I Love Trash, and Rubber Ducky.
Whoa, powerful.
And for the cast, as we talk about them, you'll hear Rugby Tiger and Ditz the Clown, both performed by Dave Goelz, obviously.
Yeah.
Because it's either Gonzo or Boober. Those are the two gears he's got when he's playing Rugby Tiger.
Well, yeah. Rugby starts off sounding a lot like Gonzo and ends up sounding a lot like Boober, but both with a kind of troubling accent.
Yeah, I can't really tell what he's trying to do there. But there are times when it sounds like he's trying something.
I think he's doing an Indian accent, is my guess.
I thought he might also be doing that too. Like, tigers that live in India. I have a great idea, Jim. I'm going to do an Indian accent for this tiger.
Don't do that, but also you did a bad enough job that it doesn't sound like you're doing anything in particular.
Yeah, it sounds like Boober in like Side Bottom or something like that.
Yeah.
Then we have Steve Whitmire as Mew, the little cat toy that we mentioned previously.
I love that cat toys come to life too in this. It's so funny. And that the cat could see the cat toy and they would kill the cat toy. Like the cat would be like, what?
Even though this is maybe the worst cat actor I've ever seen in a movie.
Ouija?
Yeah, Ouija's terrible. Every time Ouija's on camera, Ouija feels like like they're looking right off camera, like, okay, now what?
do I
What do you
do?
want me to do?
Oh, poor Ouija.
We've got Kathy Mullen playing Apple, the somewhat creepy doll.
If
Again.
this is not where they got the idea for Chucky, I'll eat my hat. She's wearing the same outfit that Chucky wears. She has
It
the
is,
same hair
somewhat
that Chucky
similar.
has almost. Yeah, her face looks just like Chucky. She looks like Chucky. If they did not see this on TV and subconsciously put that into Chucky, I don't know. I'll strike me dead now.
Someone's just sitting there watching Christmas Toy being like, oh God, that doll's going to haunt my dreams. I feel like it's going to murder me.
Now wait
and then
a
they
minute.
won't. What if it did? You'll recognize Kathy Mullen as Moki from Fraggle Rock.
Sure.
Because Apple sounds an awful lot
Exactly
like Moki.
like Moki, yeah.
Got Jerry Nelson as Balthazar. He's the leader of the pack. He's the old stressed out bear who keeps falling down.
Stressed. He's so maudlin. At one point, he's like, all our friends are dead. Oh, well. This sucks.
Yeah, he's about to be thrown out is the problem.
Yeah.
Richard Hunt is Belmont, the rocking horse.
Not who I'd bring on a rescue mission. Not very inconspicuous. Actually gigantic.
Yeah, not, I don't really know. Like, they have the taxi driver who's helping them get around. But aside from that, like, a rocking horse notably stays in place.
Yeah. There's a part where, like, they're planning the rescue mission, and Belmont's like, I guess I'll come too. And I expected them to say, oh, that was never an option, Belmont. You are 2 feet tall.
Got Camille Benora as Meteora, and as the voice of Molly, who we don't see. And as Best Dressed Mandy, who is their version of Barbie in the special, who just kind of is always trying to find the perfect outfit for whatever situation they're in.
I did think that was very funny, though. I liked that character a lot.
We have Brian Henson as Cruiser, the taxi driver, who were probably, not Brian's best role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He ought not have
Strong
done it.
choice.
Yeah.
Bad choice.
Bad choice. Ought not have done it. Also not really like a very necessary character for the plot.
Completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
They make it seem like they're going to use the taxi to get down to the living room. And then he just sort of drives next to them.
They're all walking and he's next to them, yeah.
And then, Marsha Moreau is Jamie, the human. Notable for being the original voice of Madeline in the original TV specials.
Mm-hmm.
Zachary Bennett as Jesse, who couldn't find out much more about.
Didn't need to be in the movie at all, I don't think.
No, I don't even think you mentioned him in your summary.
I didn't, because I thought there's no reason to mention there's also a little boy. He doesn't interact with the toys or think about them or have any lines, really.
No, he brings in a Nutcracker toy at the very end.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
And I guess it was probably like so they could have boy toys and girl toys in the room or something.
You're probably right.
But they don't really have any toys that are so strongly coded as boy toys that I feel like it was necessary.
I also feel like at the time, Meteora would have been not a traditional girl's toy.
Absolutely not. Yeah, she would have been the only female figure in a Masters of the Universe type toy line.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first song of the special is Toys Love to Play, which just introduces us to the concept that toys love to play so much that even when you're not around, they have to play.
And they're going bazonkers in there, and there's so many cool toys. I like the stuffed spider that's hanging from a string on the ceiling. Yeah, the duck who sits by the door and watches out for the people and toots his horn. It's like, you're tooting a big horn, bro.
Right?
They don't hear the big horn.
Like, I love the idea of having this lookout character, but he has a really loud whistle on his tugboat that I have to assume every time the parents walk away from the room, they're like, wait, what was that? Why was there a whistle?
And also, when Cruiser drives around, his wheels make the loudest. It like echoes the screeching sound that his tires make.
But as they wrap up the song, toot toot, people are coming, and they all panic and hide back where they were. And this is where we really get their personalities, where we see that, like, okay, Apple is like, you must hide. We have to do this.
Yeah.
And Rugby's like, no problem. Look at me. I'm just going to jump up on top of this dollhouse. Super easy. I'm a little confused at how much Rugby knows. Because he seems to understand the rule that you have to hide when the kids come in.
Uh-huh.
But yet when he goes out to go become the Christmas toy,
mm-hmm.
they sort of act like he doesn't realize how serious this is and what can happen to him.
I think since he thinks that on Christmas kids unwrap their favorite toy and he thinks that he is the favorite toy, he must
Yeah.
just not be putting it together that if he is seen in this, like that this is just how it's supposed to be. So if he gets seen
Yeah.
in the box, that doesn't count as an infraction of the rule. My big question also is who's enforcing these rules? Is it God? Who's killing the toys, you know?
I mean, there has to be a toy god of some sort in this
Yeah. There's
world,
some kind
right?
of omniscient force that is watching every toy all the time, ready to kill them, ready to flip the switch, knock them out.
Or maybe it's some sort of allergy to humans in some way. If they're
Oh, I
exposed to,
suppose.
but
Yeah.
they're always exposed to them, so it wouldn't be that.
I suppose it
I
could
don't
just
know.
be a passive magic thing. It's just magic.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what it actually is. It's just
Sure.
a magic spell that has
But it
been cursed
does
upon
the
them.
fact that they can bring him back does make it feel like there is somebody up there who's like, all right, in this case, he sang a nice song. You can go back.
Yeah, it does make me feel for all the toys who previously died and were just left in a pile for years.
Uh-huh. Especially
like the
after
idea that-
Mew describes that he is conscious while dead and floating around in nothingness.
In the inky void.
Yeah, I don't think Ditz is prepared to spend an eternity in the inky void.
It also makes me wonder, what did Rugby think that pile of toys was?
I think he knows that he can't be seen. He just likes to live dangerously, you know? I don't think that's an issue for him. The only thing is Christmas is confusing to him.
Well, and we learn it's Christmas because Belmont, the rocking horse, is the one who informs everyone, hey guys, it's Christmas Eve.
Yep.
And this is where we first meet Mew, who everyone hates.
They all think he stinks. Does catnip stink?
Not that,
I always
I
think
never
it kind of
thought
smells like
about
minty
catnip
or
as-
tea-like or something.
Yeah, but they seem to all hate it.
Yeah.
Because he smells. And he has to... It almost feels like they're trying to make it like either he's unwashed or that he's like almost like a fart joke or something.
Yeah, or almost like the cat peed on him or something. Maybe
Something, because every time they're like, "Ugh, God, it's Mew," he's like, "It's the catnip."
Yeah. Oh yeah, it could be a fart joke, I suppose. Maybe, but they don't
don't
really
know.
spell it out that much.
I think
But
it's
yeah,
just
they
maybe
hate
he
this
smells
little
bad.
fool. Yeah. Or maybe toys hate the smell of catnip in particular. I don't know.
Rugby does seem to be actually allergic to it. He
Right.
sneezes every time Mew is around.
Yeah. But they say
but-
it's Mew. That's what they say. All of them.
Every
It's not-
time.
It's not just Rugby. Every single toy says it's Mew. To this
Yeah.
poor, one of the cutest puppets we've ever seen.
That'd be rough if you walk into a room and all your friends are just like, "Ew, it's Sam."
And it's like, well, I literally must live here or I will die. So I guess I have
Yeah,
to hang
you
out with
stink. Boo. We want you to die. But Balthazar stands up and he's going to be the one to tell us all about Christmas.
Not the way that you think he's going to. Jesus doesn't enter into the equation.
No. But while Balthazar gets ready to tell everyone about Christmas, Rugby says, "Christmas? I didn't know it was going to happen again."
Yeah, poor guy.
And then he sings the greatest Christmas toy of all, a song about last Christmas when he was given as a gift. And he's very cocky.
Yes, a song we will revisit a few times in different forms, but yes, he describes trumpets playing and all kinds of majestic things happening as he is unboxed.
Yeah, there has never been a better Christmas. No better toy has ever been given. This is the greatest toy that's ever been. And it's just a
He's pretty-
freaking stuffed tiger.
He's pretty cute. If I
Yeah.
got that after I had Apple, I would say I like you better than the murderous baby doll for sure.
Yeah, but then you get Meteora. And
Yeah.
you're like, well, sorry, stuffed tiger. You don't even have articulation. Well, while Balthazar continues to try and explain the meaning of Christmas, Rugby sneaks out of the playroom. And I guess it's important to note here that inexplicably, the parents are doing laundry throughout this special.
They do say, I bet no other family's doing laundry on Christmas night because whoever wrote it was like, this is pretty weird.
Yeah, we need a reason for the parents to keep wandering down the hallway and to walk into the kids' room. So how do we make that happen?
Yeah.
I don't know. What if they're doing laundry?
Yeah. I mean, it's the best option, really, they could have chosen, I think. But it's also really lucky that the toys aren't kept in the children's room, that they have their own playroom, because then the toys never get to come to life.
The laundry thing also does help Rugby because he gets to hide in the laundry.
Right. He gets laundry thrown on him a few times.
Yeah. And it also does help make the parents sort of a constant threat because you never know when they're going to walk down and be like, where's that sock?
Yeah. And I suppose I could put myself in a position where I'm doing laundry on Christmas. It's just another day, you know, when you have that many kids too.
I don't know. I feel like I would just very quickly be like, it's Christmas. Laundry can wait.
I'll do laundry tomorrow. Yeah.
That's Christmas Day then.
Yeah. By the end of
Yeah, wait a
Christmas
couple
Day, you're
days.
kind of bored of Christmas, aren't you?
I guess there is that, come down period after you've opened
Yeah.
everything. And you're like, well, now what?
Everybody's asleep. Everybody's taking their nap, and then you do some laundry.
Well, Balthazar does get to finally explain the meaning of Christmas to the other toys.
And not the way you think. It's not Jesus. He just
No,
means...
no. Zero Jesus in this entire special. He explains to the other toys that the kids will receive new toys and that these new toys will be confused about the ways of the world.
Such a
So we must
ripoff.
open our hearts and welcome them.
Toy Story belongs in jail.
There's another IP that I think stole some ideas from this, but we'll get to that.
Okay. I might know what you're talking about. And if I don't, then this is like the densest. That's where they got the idea, this thing that we've ever watched.
I think there's just something near the end of this special that cannot be ignored.
Yes, I think you're right.
But we'll get to that.
Yeah.
For now, we find out Apple didn't like Rugby.
No.
Because Apple was Jamie's old favorite toy before Rugby came along.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like as if, we have Woody in Toy Story.
Right.
And then there was like Wheezy the Penguin was like, yeah, but fuck Woody. Because I used to be cool before Andy got Woody.
Yeah. But and then Woody also does fill this role. Like he has the same character arc problem where he's like new toy that they like better. But it's not a title that gets passed down. Woody's just always been the favorite toy instead of a long line of succession of toys that all hate each other.
Right. There's more like there's a respect in Toy Story world where everyone's like, oh, but we like Woody. We're okay with him being the leader.
Right.
Mew comes in to tell them all that Rugby went out the door. And so, Belmont suddenly introduces the brand new fear and informs everyone that if Rugby gets caught outside, he'll be frozen forever.
Will fucking die.
Ditz, who apparently doesn't understand this.
He's stupid.
I get that he's stupid. They called him Ditz and they made him extremely stupid.
Yeah.
But how is he not fucked this up already?
Is he the new stupidest Muppet? Does he displace Beauregard? Beauregard at least probably has some kind of survival
self-preservation
instincts. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, if you told Beauregard, hey, don't walk into traffic, he might actually hesitate for a moment.
He'll die. He'll say, okay,
yeah, Ditz is like, man, I've never got hit by a car before. Both played by Dave Goelz, though, so he's good at playing the dumb characters.
Guy, yeah.
Suddenly, though, people are coming down the hallway. It's Mom, and she finds Ditz in the doorway and tosses him back in the playroom.
And you just literally watch the life drain from his body as he flops to the ground. And he's
the toys go to check on him, and he is unresponsive.
He's dead.
The toy telephone even rubs it in.
Yeah.
As they're saying, Ditz? Ditz? The telephone says, the number you have dialed is no longer in service.
You're not helping, telephone. Get lost. And then the little train guy comes and they throw Ditz on the back of the train. It hurts.
Yeah. I was so like, oh man, what are they just going to leave him there for the rest of the special? But no, they of course have a plan.
Yeah.
They put dead toys on the train.
This before and take it to the pile. They throw them on the pile.
This moment was super weird.
Yeah. It's like, it's one of those dark moments in a kid's thing that you see in like a Don Bluth cartoon or something where you're like, I can't believe they did that. But at the same time, it's like, it's so interesting that they did that. And it makes so much sense that they did that. And I'm kind of glad that they did that in a way, because it scratches that itch of what does happen? Once you scratch right below the surface of this fantasy, it's so dark, but in a satisfying way. And I
Right.
read some reviews of this that were like, this is too dark, and it's just like, I don't know, maybe it is, but it's also
Yeah.
just so uniquely, it's like unafraid to be weird.
Yeah, I like that it's so dark, but I could also see it being a little heavy for certain age groups.
Right. Right,
But
because
yeah,
it's
no,
like, why not just say, there's a universe in which they just said if you get seen, then you just freeze. Like, I don't know.
right.
But then maybe it is like there's no risk. Then there has to be risk. But to jump straight to you die forever is quite the escalation.
Yeah, because that's something that's not explored really in Toy Story, and they just sort of, it's one of those things where they don't get close enough to you asking the question, so you don't think about it too much. But the toys in the Toy Story world just sort of respect the rule that they're
Yeah,
supposed to be
they
toys,
all
and so
just
they flop down.
know that they're supposed to
Right.
do it, and they can
But there's
choose not
never like a
to, as seen
consequence.
by Sid. Like Sid sees the toys moving, so
Yes.
they can do it and not be punished. So you'd
Yeah.
have to think in the bazillions of toys that exist, there'd be one who'd be like, "Fuck that! I'm just gonna walk
Right.
around."
Buzz Lightyear pretty much almost does that, and they have to stop him.
Yeah, because they just know they all are on the same page on this.
But yeah, how
Uh,
did they learn that? Like, were army men just crawling around one time and they got stomped to death, and people were like, "Oh shit, we should probably, I guess, not interact with the humans."
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, but I think honestly, the beginning of this movie with the first opening song, I was still pretty unsure about it, and was still feeling a little bit like this might be another bunny picnic.
oh,
But
the first note
the
I
moment,
took was, I think I love this movie. So,
oh, see, it wasn't until this moment when they killed off Ditz
uh-huh,
that I was fully in.
yeah,
Like when that happened, I was like, I am 100% more interested in this movie than I was 2 minutes ago.
yeah. There are parts of Bunny Picnic I think that get kind of close to this, like when they talk about how much sex the bunnies must have, where it's like, this is
Yeah.
weird. But then Bunny Picnic just ends. It stalls out so hard at the end when they're stuck in the in the stump or whatever they're stuck in, and I
Mm,
kept waiting for that part to happen, but it never did.
yeah. Well, Mew realizes that because of Ditz's untimely death, everyone else has forgotten that Rugby escaped. And so he takes it upon himself to go help him.
Mm.
I put in my notes at this point, if Mew survives this movie, I will be shocked.
It didn't occur to me that he would die, but
To have a death
yeah.
followed by the sweetest character in the world being like, I guess I gotta go save him
Guess I'll have to
myself.
do it.
I was just like, oh God, Mew, you're not long for this world.
Oh, do you think they should have left him dead?
Mm,
No, that would be
interesting.
too sad. I think that would
Yeah,
have been too sad. But
I
maybe
think so
kids have to
too.
learn.
I think to me it feels like they were originally planning on leaving him dead, and then somebody gave them a note, and they were like, "We should probably bring him back to life,
Yeah.
though."
Or also they could have written that he comes back to life, and then somebody gave them a note that was like, "You got to do something about the pile of corpses in the playroom. You got to use the magic on them too." Or what if they had said, "Okay, here's maybe a split the difference." Nah,
Mm-hmm.
never mind. If they had said something like they come back to life on Christmas, you're dead till Christmas, and you get to come back, or something like that. But it is Christmas, so I guess that doesn't count.
Right. You can just wake up the next morning, be
Yeah,
like, "Ugh, that was a weird day."
yeah,
Sometimes I remember to cross off my notes as I go, and then other times I completely forget, so I lose my spot. There we go. So Mew catches up to Rugby and asks him what the day was like, Christmas Day last year,
yeah. Because this
and so
part
we
is
get
heartbreaking. Because Rugby's like, "You're just a cat toy. You could literally never understand what it's like for anyone to love you," and Mew is like, "You're correct."
so tell me, please, what it's
Yeah.
like to be loved and not just chewed upon all the time.
What a great character.
But yeah, the special does use reprises quite often of the
Mhm.
music. A couple times it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
Like they do, toys love to play a couple of times, but the second time doesn't really add anything.
hmm,
And this time when they do the greatest Christmas toy of all, it kind of feels like it also doesn't really matter again. Like it's just kind of the same song
yeah.
told again, but to Mew. But I think because they do it a third time, the sad version with Apple, having it happen twice sort of drives home
Puts it in
how
your head a
great
little
it
bit more.
was.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then like you remember, oh, this is the same song he sang a couple times. Yeah.
right. But instead, it's Apple's version of Jessie's "When She Loves Me" from Toy
Yes.
Story 2.
Jesus. It really is. She cries a real human tear.
That's troubling. Then, shockingly, the kids run out of their rooms and are like, oh, Santa already came. And they want to go open presents in the middle of the night. But their older sister Molly narcs on them and yells out to Mom, who threatens to have Santa take away their presents if they don't go back to sleep right now.
The parents probably did put the presents out too early. I feel like that's a possibility. They should have waited till a little later at night. And that's
Well,
another thing. That's another nighttime activity the parents could have been doing instead of laundry. Is they could have
Well,
been
they do
bringing
it at some
presents
point.
up and down. Yeah, but they've already
Well,
done
that's the
it
thing.
before we start, really. Right?
No, they hint at it happening, but I think they didn't want to say Santa doesn't exist.
Oh, Matt, you genius. They weren't allowed to because kids are watching
Yes.
this.
Because they have a moment where the parents are talking about, oh, did the kids leave out the cookies for Santa? And the dad's like, what kind of cookies did you get this year? And Mom's like, don't worry about it. And then like a scene or two later, the dad says something about like, oh, there's a big bite out of that cookie.
Oh, okay.
And so they already went and did the Santa thing. We just can't say they went and did the Santa thing.
Because every parent in America would be pissed off that their child was told Santa wasn't real.
Okay, so you're making a Christmas special where one, you're telling my kids Santa isn't real, and two, you're telling them that their toys die. Thanks a lot, Jim Henson. It is wild, though, to have a Christmas movie where Santa is a presence, but we don't see him.
Yeah, I did think he was going to pop up. He could have been the one who brought Mew back to life, you know? Give him a little
Do you think he
sprinkle.
ran into Kermit and was like, what the fuck are you wearing?
Are you making fun of me, dude?
Are you going down the chimney dressed like me? What the hell? Well, Rugby and Mew make their way down to the living room and next to the Christmas tree.
Around then is when they say toys can't feel pain also. They get squished by the door and they're just like, good thing this doesn't hurt. Just in case you were wondering if we were dying right now, we're not.
They need to open up the box that Jamie's Christmas gift is in so that Rugby can climb on in there. And Mew is extremely helpful in this.
Why is he helping him in this part? I don't quite. He needs him to see the toy inside, I guess. Maybe is the
I think so,
motivation?
yeah. I guess so. I guess they don't really explain why Mew isn't trying to fight him off more.
Right.
But maybe he gives up and is finally just like, okay, but if you look in here, maybe you'll understand.
Yeah, they don't state that, but I feel like that must be the only reason.
But I guess Rugby, I don't know, can't use his fingers or thumbs or something because he has a hard time getting the ribbon off. But Mew dangles from the tree.
I couldn't
grabs
use
the ribbon.
his mouth. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. But right as they're doing this, Apple shows up to stop Rugby and explain that she's been through all of this before.
Yeah.
And Rugby won't listen. He opens the box to reveal the coolest looking toy I've ever seen.
It is pretty dope. I would have loved to get this as a kid. Vac metalized sword, very big.
Mm-hmm.
Just great.
She's probably like an 18-inch action figure or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
She's pretty big. But we then get some truly heartbreaking music as Rugby says, "But I don't understand." And Apple says, "I can see that, but it's about time you did."
Yes. Think about this from my perspective, Rugby.
But that's quickly interrupted by Meteora, queen of the asteroids, who grabs Mew and demands to be taken to his leader.
Oh, I also love that Mew is horny for Meteora. I think that's so funny. He's like kissing the box that she's in, and he's like, wow, she's amazing. His big old wife who was stomping on him.
Oh, that'd be a great ending to this.
Yeah, if they were
If
married.
Meteora and Mew were just like hanging out. And it was like a dragon donkey Shrek situation.
I love you, honey. Yeah.
As much as I love Meteora, she does have a little bit of Puppet Master vibe.
She's not
to
the
her.
best puppet. She doesn't look as good as the Barbie. The Barbie
No.
looks perfect, and
Yeah.
Meteora does not look perfect. There's something wrong with her mouth mechanism. Is too many creases or something, where it just is not. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they tried to make too rigid of like an action figure like puppet, but then
Mhm.
remember like, oh right, she has to talk somehow.
Yeah.
Also, I think Meteora would be amazing cosplay if anyone out there ever
Yeah.
wanted to be Meteora.
Yeah, she's cool. And she does like literally the scene of Buzz Lightyear being like, I've landed on a strange planet.
I mean, yeah, and even Rugby at one point has to be like, you are a toy.
Yeah, totally. This is when it shifts into full Woody Buzz dynamic.
There is one important difference though. She can fly.
Oh, yes, she can. You're right.
She actually takes off from the ground
Does that
like
mean
a
the toy
rocket.
can fly for real too?
It seems
The most
like it.
expensive toy ever.
So after Meteora takes off, Rugby puts himself in the box that Meteora came out of. And this is when Apple finally gets to explain to Rugby what actually happened last Christmas. And she sings her sad rendition of the greatest Christmas toy of all, which, like we said earlier, was pretty much the same story as when she loved me from Toy Story 2, where
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I've been replaced.
She's watching. We watch her watch Rugby come out of the box, and then she is crying actual tears.
Surprisingly quickly, Rugby does understand and goes,
Yeah.
oh, I get it. Still gonna get in the box though.
Yeah.
He says, oh, you gave up without a fight. I'm not gonna do that.
Then they tell him, you will fucking die. And then he's finally like, oh, yes, I forgot about the part where I'll fucking die.
And while they're trying to tell him that, Meteora is fighting the chess set,
Yeah.
which is causing a ton of noise.
I do wish, I wish there was a little bit more of her running around causing mayhem, because that was pretty fun. Just
the
like
small
a scene of
soldiers
her
vibes.
in different rooms of the house, just being a menace, I think would have been fun.
Yeah, we only get the one scene, really,
Mm-hmm.
where she's causing the noise, and they send Dad out to see what the hell's going on. And as they hear him coming, Mew meows to convince the dad that it was just a cat.
Yeah.
But you know, now everyone likes Mew, and I don't know. To me, I would probably go actually see what my cat was doing if I heard a bunch of weird noises.
Knocking a bunch of stuff down, yeah, probably.
Yeah, because you hear noises in the middle of the night. You can probably assume it's your cat.
Yeah.
But until the cat meows back at you, you don't accept that it's just the cat, I guess.
And not go see what she knocked. What, she knocked down a water bottle or something, spilling it.
Or the Christmas tree.
But
thankfully now everyone likes Mew, and this was another moment where I was like, I like this movie. This is a good movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is the same moment when Rugby and Meteora have their Buzz Lightyear and Woody scene, where Rugby tries to get Meteora back into the box, and she says, you dare to touch the queen? Inhabitants of many planets have died for less. And he just goes, no, they haven't.
Oh, I missed that. That's fun.
He just goes, no, they haven't. You're a toy.
It's disappointingly easy to convince her to get back in the box, in my opinion.
Yeah. They have to sing a song, though. That's some effort.
Yeah, I guess, about how cool she is and stuff like that. But that wouldn't convince me that I wasn't a space warrior, I don't think.
A toy who can both die and kill.
Yes. Wow. That would be a great tagline on a movie poster. Not that. If you think about it, it's not that cool. It's it just sounds cool. But it can die though, so it's fine.
There was some moments of this where there's slightly creepy hallway moments or something that felt a little like Meet the Feebles, but in the least gross way.
Okay.
But just some of because these characters look a little different than normal Muppets, and more just generic puppety.
Yeah.
There was some moments that I was like, you could probably edit that into Meet the Feebles, and it wouldn't be too out of place.
Nobody would think that was weird. Yeah. I also kept thinking
would vomit or get shot in the face afterwards.
I kept thinking about how lucky we were that they didn't put creepy Muppet heads on the humans. That was a good choice on their part. I'm sure it's not something they ever thought of just because of the setting, but almost every other one
kids?
of these we've gotten, bad kid, don't do that.
We've never seen that, and hopefully we never will.
No.
Of puppet head kids.
Spare us from that.
We cut back to the playroom, where every time they cut back to the playroom, the focus begins on the pile of dead toys.
Yes, it sure does. There's also a fun through-line joke where the Barbie doll was going to go on the mission with them, and she's trying to pick out an outfit to wear on the mission and can't pick her outfit, which I thought was pretty cute too.
In the playroom, Balthazar reveals that he hasn't been to the living room in a long time.
Sad. In fact, just a subtle, sad thing that they didn't have to say.
No, he can't even remember the last time he's been to the living room.
And he knows how sad it is that he said it too.
Yeah, he's the Lotso Huggin' Bear of this universe.
He's just, the one straw away from the camel's back breaking to turn him evil.
Yeah, the moment Jamie gets a new teddy bear, he's gonna, rise up and gather an army around him of toy soldiers and etc. So the toys are all headed back to the playroom because they, mission accomplished. They got Meteora in the box. Rugby understands what's going on. And on their way back to the playroom, Mew grabs onto Rugby's tail so he can get there faster. But Rugby's tail is a little too rough of a ride, and Mew falls off. And even though Rugby runs out to try and risk his life for Mew, the mom finds him.
This mom has racked up a higher kill count than any other character we've ever seen in any of these projects we've ever watched.
And the next time we see Mew, he's sort of subtly being carried by Ouija down the stairs to the living room.
Yeah, laid on Ouija's bed like it's his coffin.
So Rugby goes down and finds Mew just laying in the middle of the cat bed. And it's so sad, Sam.
It's so sad. He's like, there's so much stuff that I wanted to tell you. He's like, I don't even care if he's dead. I just have to go and tell him what I need to tell
he doesn't
him.
Sam's not exaggerating here. That's
He
like
says
what
that
Rugby
line.
says out loud.
He's like, I don't care. I need to tell him. Even if he can't hear me, I need to tell him. Yeah, it's just
I can't believe you're gone. You're the best friend I ever had. I can't accept that you're frozen.
It's so real. It's like the when Fraggle Rock gets sad and really compelling, it is that level of like good.
Oh, absolutely. I am not an easy crier at movies.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I was a slightly easier crier, this definitely would have got me.
I
like
cried
there was like a
during
small
this part. I did cry.
There we go. I had like a lump in my throat, but I was not actually. I didn't have my one apple tear running down my face.
It is like if Wembley actually died in an episode of Fraggle Rock. And then they had to give his eulogy.
Which I think Wembley kind of almost died at one point, but they brought him back pretty quickly.
Right. Yeah.
He was like tossed across the room into some doozer sticks.
He does get tossed and almost dies. That's right.
But this was handled way more seriously and for a lot longer than any Fraggle death we've ever seen. And in my notes, I put, surely Mew must be coming back to life, right? Because this is getting way too sad.
Yeah.
So then we get the song Together at Christmas, which is the same song that is featured at the end of the medley in Muppet Family Christmas, where, as far as I know, it does not bring anyone back from the dead.
No, but maybe we just don't. Maybe that's the next scene is all the zombies rising from their graves outside of
Family Christmas 2. These toys kill and can die. Oh, man, that would be, like, obviously not good. Obviously. No. I'm acknowledging that this is not an actual good idea. The idea of the idea is good to me, where now the Muppets are trapped in the farmhouse.
Yes.
As all of these old toys that were left out in the yard are attacking it like a horde of zombies.
Because they sang the magic Bring Toys Back to Life song and they didn't know.
Yes.
Like they read the Necronomicon for toys.
Precisely. What a perfect idea for a movie.
It could be. This could work somehow. We'll have to think about it, Matt. We're going to have to just workshop this one.
We'll write a spec script and Disney will be horrified to make us shut down the podcast. They'll be like, you know what? We didn't have a problem with you making a Muppet podcast before, but now you've gone over the line.
Yeah, now we're going to send you to jail.
So Rugby sings the song over Mew's dead body about how much he loves him. And it works. He comes back to life.
And this is when they have the scene where Mew tells him what it was like to be dead. And he says, I was nowhere and somewhere at the same time. I was very cold. I was very lonely. But clearly he was conscious and would have been conscious forever.
Yeah. And it says, suddenly it wasn't so dark and it was warmer. And then I woke up.
Not necessarily.
And Rugby's just like, cool.
Okay, I hope I never get seen, and I hope you're okay, ultimately.
Yeah, feels like something we might need to unpack later. Well, now we are back in the playroom, where all the rest of the toys are also singing this song, which brings Ditz and the pile of dead toys back to life.
Yes, which is less heartwarming and a little more unsettling than the Mew thing. A pile of corpses reviving is less cute than one cute little mouse toy reviving.
Also, it raises that's one of the parts that raises a little questions where I'm like, okay, there wasn't a moment where Rugby was like, hey guys, try this.
Yeah,
like,
that would have been, if they had come
this
back and said like, we found out something amazing, that would have been maybe better.
I guess maybe it's weird because like I guess it'd be even weirder for the Playroom toys because none of them saw Mew die. or dead at least, and they didn't see him come back to life. So Rugby's coming back being like, this guy was dead. I promise you. I
Yeah.
sang this song and now he's back. We should try that with Ditz, I guess.
And now, do you have to mean it when you sing it too, or like next time a
I
toy
think so.
dies? Next time a toy dies, will they be like old friends, new friends? That's for the memories. Christmas.
Come on, get up.
Yeah, it'll just be like, all right, I'm back. Or will they have to be very sad and who knows?
I mean, if they can get away with recording it, maybe that
Just
would work.
play it. Yeah, play the saddest rendition they can come up with.
And after the toys are all revived, it's Christmas morning, where Meteora and a weird nutcracker guy who's completely unimportant
I wouldn't
are
like
brought
to
into
get
the
that toy
playroom.
for Christmas either. I would say this toy sucks. It's a
It's a Christmas
toy.
specific toy.
Yeah, I don't want this. You gave her a cool action figure. This is what I got.
Yeah.
Too
It's like
big.
getting a Christmas decoration for Christmas.
Yeah.
Like, cool, I guess I'll hang this up for the next 2 days.
Yep. I guess I'll see this next year.
But then there's another character that we get to meet. A
Yeah,
new
yes.
friend for our favorite cat toy Mew. Sam, I think we need to contact someone because a
Creatures
lawsuit
Inc?
needs to
I think
happen.
you're right. I think the Pokemon Company needs to hear about this.
Because not only is there now Mew, we got Mewtwo. She introduces herself as Mewtwo.
Yes, he says, I'm Mew. And she says, I'm Mewtwo. What? And then I turned to Rachel and I said, take off your headphones right now. You gotta see
I have to
this.
tell you about this.
And then I rewound it for her and she was like, what? That's not right. It's not right. Mewtwo, you can't have another Mewtwo.
Well, the entire time I'm watching this, the name Mew did not, trigger my Pokemon response
me at all.
at all.
Me either, yeah.
Didn't think about that. But the moment she's like, and I'm Mewtwo. No.
Yeah.
No one else has ever had that name.
Never. So somebody watched this and got the idea. It's a badass name. Mewtwo. It's a great name.
And then 10 years later, they're like, okay, that was great. What if it was a tall man-like creepy guy with psychic
He's
powers?
like with a penis for a tail. How about that? Do we like that? We love it.
Can we just do the cat toy thing? It's like, no. We'll get sued if someone realizes what we did. If somebody who worked on Pokemon wants to own up and admit your thievery.
Theft. If
Yeah.
Pixar, we're taking down Pixar, we're taking down Nintendo.
Come on.
It's the end for both of you.
I think we also challenged Disney. So we're
Yeah.
making enemies this episode.
Yeah.
Unexpected twist to the Christmas toy episode. 1, we liked it a lot. 2, we're taking down the biggest
2,
companies in the
we
world.
destroyed all of popular culture. 3 of the things that, like without exaggeration, are the most beloved things in the entire world. Time to die. We get all your money. That's how the legal system works too.
Well, this is the sweet moment where we get Jamie letting us know that everything will be fine, at least until next year. Because she says, I love you, Meteora, forever and ever. Just like I love all my toys.
Phew.
I love you, Apple, and I love you, Rugby.
She could have said that last year and saved Apple a lot of heartache.
Yeah, I felt like Apple was a very sad character, but Apple also accepted her fate. It seems like Apple was like, give me a drink, Balthazar.
Yeah.
We're going to hang out here for the next 20 years until there's a garage sale.
When Balthazar is explaining what's going to happen on Christmas after he's done, Apple is like, I took it bad, but Rugby's going to take it a lot worse than me, which I really
She
liked.
does,
That was like
yeah.
a great, like, yeah, you're like a pretty keen observer of human condition if you know that he's
Yeah.
not prepared for this at all. You probably
I've heard
should
the way
have
he's
told
been talking today. It's going to be rough, guys.
You could have told him a little earlier about this, I think, but also he just kind of seems
Could
like
have told him
dickhead.
day 2.
Yeah.
And like, hey, so welcome, new Christmas toy. Let's fill you in. You
Just
know,
a little
prepare for a great
awkward,
year.
but
It's going to be
yeah.
fun. Next year, though, you will be replaced.
Yeah. Another thing
But
that
it's
bothered
sick.
me is that there is an unattended open flame in the toy room, which seems like a bad idea. The fireplace is there and lit at the end.
Only if you know that your toys can walk into it.
Well, only if you let your 8-ish-year-old children play in there. I don't think there should be an unattended fireplace in there.
It's the 80s, Sam. Kids were probably building the fire,
Yeah, you're probably right.
working in the mines.
Yeah, it was coal that they mined from the mines.
Yeah.
Throw it on the fire.
They were chopping the wood for the fire.
Yeah,
They were tougher back then.
that's true.
But this is a very sweet moment when we finally get Jamie telling all of her toys that she loves them.
Yeah.
And all the toys sing together at Christmas once again. And this is when Kermit's like, hey,
He's just there.
I'm back.
I could have helped at any time, but I didn't. So,
And to be fair, though, this is his role in a lot of these where,
Yeah,
at the
totally.
end of Emmett Otter, he's just chilling in the restaurant listening
Yeah.
to the band play. He's like,
Yeah.
hey, that was pretty good, right?
yeah, and I love this I love this mode of Kermit, and it's something I wish, I don't know, we'd just seen a few more times through the years.
Yeah.
It's nice to just see him framing these things and giving them a little bit of his like clout, and also being like charming and funny. These appearances of his are always just like so casual, and he's just like, "Yeah, what's up? Yeah, I'm Kermit. You ever heard of me? I'm a pretty big deal."
Yeah, I don't know if we get anything else like that of Kermit, or if he's, a featured star and things from now on, because we don't have that much longer left with Jim.
Yeah.
And I think, Jim Henson Hour, Muppets at Walt Disney World, Muppet Family Christmas, these things,
stars
Kermit is a
in
pretty
those,
front and
yeah.
center character. But that does it for the Christmas toy, a thing that I am shocked we both loved.
Yeah, it was great. It was like the perfect version of Hey Cinderella and like what was the other one?
The Frog Prince.
And the Frog Prince. Yeah, it was like that idea refined so nicely. And a big step up from Bunny Picnic.
Yeah, and Musicians of Bremen.
Right.
Which I don't remember liking.
That one was so different. I think we didn't love it, but I think at the same time we were kind of like, oh, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But this is just like, and they do spin it off into a TV show, and it totally makes sense. Like I feel like there is another alternate universe where like this was a pretty successful television show. If they had made it a little faster than like 7 years later or something.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that Apple does not return.
No, replaced
The
by
Secret Life of
Raisin.
Toys. Yeah.
Raisin, who's a rag doll, which makes a lot more sense. I think the one big creative mistake in this was not making Apple a cute rag doll and instead trying to make her a creepy baby doll. I think she's not as creepy as when you see her in still pictures. She's creepier than when you see her alive. But also her arms don't match her head, which bothered me. She has like Muppet hands.
Right.
And a rubber head, which I think was a mistake too. So Apple just doesn't quite work, and I could see why they needed to switch her up a little bit.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see that when we get to it, because you have, some of the cast returning, where like Balthazar, who looks much more distinguished, I will say,
Yeah.
in Secret Life of Toys than he does in the Christmas toy. Still perform at Jerry Nelson. Dave Goles is there doing rugby, but Mew, notably not Steve Whitmire.
Yeah, I wonder why that is.
I don't know.
It's also just such a natural idea to do with puppets. Like you can do anything with puppets, but this makes so much sense. It's so like there's no leap in logic to be like, these toys are puppets. They look like toys. Yeah, it just is very effective.
Well, now that we're all in the Christmas spirit, Sam, I got to ask you, was there any non-Christmas, non-Muppet things you enjoyed this week?
Hey, speaking of Pixar, I went and seen Inside Out 2.
Ooh, how was it?
Back to hating Pixar. After
Have you ever not hated Pixar?
I loved Turning Red. I loved
Okay.
Luca. I thought Luca was great.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was like a good one to like, okay, maybe I can get back on board with these guys. This movie's so boring though. This movie is also just walking down hallways for the whole thing, except not in as a compelling way.
Also features Dave Goles, though.
It also has Dave Goles, and Frank Oz, I believe, is also in it.
Yep.
I didn't pick out Dave Goles, but I definitely picked out Frank Oz's voice.
They're the same. They're the same two characters as they were in Inside Out 1. They are the two like cop characters,
security guard guys. Yeah. Who also show up.
Who I believed their character names are Dave and Frank, but flipped.
But switched around. That's fun.
Yeah.
It has its moments. I wouldn't say I hated it, but there's some characters in it that are very funny. There's like a suppressed memory she has of a dog cartoon character who's like Blue's Clues and Dora the Explorer combined, and he is animated 2D like Flash animation style,
Oh,
and he's
all right.
so funny. But it's just like a lot about hockey, which is not compelling. It's a pretty good. Maya Hawke's character anxiety is very good, but the way that the problem of the movie is solved is just like, oh, she had anxiety attacks for 2 days and then she dealt with her anxiety and now everything's fine. Is very like, it feels like the movie should have taken place across like the entirety of her freshman year of high school instead of
Yeah.
2 days, which
Right.
is like, okay. But I don't know. I just didn't like it, but I also didn't like Inside Out 1, so I wasn't expecting to like it this
Okay.
much. There's just something
So,
about the
yeah, like-
concept of it that just doesn't like, not very compelling to me.
Yeah, for me, I feel like Pixar has been very hit and miss since like 2019.
Mm-hmm.
But you, I know, have never loved Pixar movies.
I liked the Toy Story movies. I
Okay.
like Bug's Life.
You know what, Sam? Extra bonus Pixar segment. Let's go through all of them right now.
Okay,
Just
let me
thumbs
pull
up,
up-
thumbs
let me
down,
pull up
liked,
the
didn't
list.
like.
Okay.
I got it right here. I'll read it to you.
Okay.
Toy Story.
Love Toy Story. Come on.
Also love Toy
Even
Story.
though it's a
To be fair,
rip-off of this movie.
my answer on most of these will be love it until we get to like 2019.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
Bug's Life.
Great.
Agreed. Toy Story 2.
Fantastic.
Pretty good. Monsters, Inc.
I love Monsters, Inc. Come on, that's a laugh riot.
All right. Finding Nemo.
I think Finding Nemo is just okay. I think this is where they
All
start
right.
to get a little too treacly.
We're starting to sour
Yeah.
in the Sam Pixar world. Notably, this would have been right around the time Sam's entering high school, so maybe he's
That's a good
becoming
point. I
bit
just
of
have
too
a
cool for kids
problem.
movies.
This is one of those movies where there's so many little cute quotable things that then you hear people saying later, where it's like, I know, like my mom, like your mom has a shirt with Dory on it. Like I know they made that character so that moms would get shirts with Dory on it.
Moms love Ellen.
That's true.
Next, we have The Incredibles.
I like The Incredibles quite a bit. I like it less upon revisiting than I did when I saw it, though.
See, I'm the opposite. I could not have cared less about The Incredibles when it came out.
I liked it a lot.
And then seeing it later on, I've liked it.
Okay.
Cars.
I think Cars is quite good. I kind of love Cars.
I like Cars. Ratatouille.
Ratatouille's another one where I should like it more than I do. I think I just hate Linguini so much. Is that his name? Fettuccine? Whatever. I fucking
Linguini.
hate him. I think he's a bad person.
Notably, this is the first Pixar movie that came out while Sam was in college.
Oh,
so
well,
this was
you know.
college Sam. Get more edgy.
And it's another one where this is another thing a problem I have with a lot of CG movies, where there's really cute 2D animated segments that I'm like, I think I would have rather just it looked like that, frankly. And Ratatouille has some really cute 2D things. But I like Ratatouille. I like the guy. Who's his name? Remy. I like Remy.
Remy.
I like the concept is pretty cute, but I just hate Linguini. I just don't like him.
Wally.
Wally, I don't like that much. I think Wally starts off good. Then when he goes to space, it's kind of like, oh, it's kind of stupid.
Up.
Up, same. Great beginning, but then when they're fighting dogs and jet planes who can like talk and shoot machine guns, I'm like, I've checked out.
So you love the sad part of the beginning.
Yeah, those
Everything
are the
else
best
is
little animated part. Like those are the best little. They have a great opening concept, and then it's just like, well, what do we do now? I guess the dogs should be in planes and shooting at them. Huh? Why?
Toy Story 3.
What's that? Oh, I like that one. I like that one. They all seem like they're gonna die. Pretty good one.
Yeah. Cars 2.
Cars 2's genuinely an awful fucking movie, and I just
I think Cars
recently,
2.
It's so bad.
I think Cars 2 is my least favorite Pixar film by a mile.
Yes, absolutely. That one. The rest of them, I know that I'm just a little curmudgeonly about. This one is bad.
Yeah, that's like for me Pixar's first big misstep is Cars 2.
Totally.
Next up, Brave.
Brave is completely unremarkable to me. I remember being disappointed by it, but I don't remember why.
Yeah, I like Brave, but also is not one that I revisit.
Yeah.
Monsters University.
I thought that movie was very fun. I like that movie quite a bit.
I like that movie too.
It's a little weird. Like, it's a little weird to know that the resolution of the first one, is that what they're doing is wrong. And then to
Right.
watch a movie where it's all about them learning to do that thing that's wrong.
Right.
But also, it's just funny. I like that one.
Inside Out, we already touched on a little bit.
Don't love
your
it.
feelings in the first one.
Yeah.
The Good Dinosaur.
That movie I really actually loved a lot. That's one of my favorite Pixar movies. It's so beautiful.
I think that might be the most underrated Pixar movie. Where I feel like nobody saw it.
Yeah, but you still see people being like, The Good Dinosaur was really one of their worst movies. And maybe I need to watch it again and figure out why. But I think...
No, I think part of the reason is that, like, so before this, you had Pixar movies like once every year or two. Toy Story 3 was 2010. Cars 2 was 2011. Brave 2012. Monsters University 2013. Inside Out comes out June 2015. Good Dinosaur is November 2015.
Whoa.
So it's just a few months later, they're like, another one.
So it's like that Marvel thing where there's just too many Marvel movies now.
Yeah, they were just like, they gave you another Pixar too soon, I think. And so people were like, we're kind of used to this one a year thing.
Yeah, people were like, we like Bing Bong. We don't like Dinosaur Guy. Whatever. I don't know any of their names. Yeah. I think The Good Dinosaur feels like it takes place in Montana too, which also to me
I think is on purpose. I think they came here to do research.
Right.
But yeah, then we have Finding Dory.
I thought that movie stunk.
I don't think it stunk. I feel like it's a little bit too similar to the first Finding Nemo, that it just feels like they're hitting a lot of the same notes again.
The octopus was pretty fun. I liked the octopus.
Ed O'Neill as the octopus.
Yeah.
Cars 3.
That movie also stunk, I thought.
I like that one so much. I think Cars 2 was so bad that I was like, thank you, Cars 3, for returning to form.
It just feels more... It's totally agree with you there. Cars 3 feels like a kid's movie in a way that Cars feels very not like a kid's movie to me. Cars is a very like complicated, sad movie in a lot of ways. And I know Lightning McQueen like dies in the beginning of Cars 3, but it is more just about like, you're going to be a really good racer. And I don't like that as much.
Coco.
I forgot about Coco. That one made me cry like a little baby.
Coco's good. We were like every, Halloween-ish time we watch Coco.
I wasn't totally sold on Coco until I think I don't love Coco, but I think the bad guy is really smart. I think that's like he's a fun bad guy. And gosh, when she's singing the grandma, I'm gonna cry right now thinking about it. That part's so beautiful.
Incredibles 2.
I thought that movie was really bad, frankly.
I honestly barely remember it. And this is the era where I believe, for me, Pixar starts to become a lot more hit and miss.
That's when they lean so far into like Jack being cute, and that one is like, no, I don't like this.
That's one for me where the villains, I'm like, I know there's like a weird twist, but I barely remember it, and it was one of those you saw coming from a mile away.
Yes, absolutely.
Toy Story 4.
I hated Toy Story 4.
I also did not like Toy Story 4.
It felt so unnecessary.
Onward.
And Buzz was so weird in Toy Story 4. I know that they
Buzz?
have
some... I hate that. That's my least favorite part of that movie. They make Buzz an absolute idiot, like even dumber than he was in the first movie.
He's never been stupid. Like, he was only stupid because he was confused in the first one. But I feel like he was very competent otherwise. Yeah, he's so dumb. What was the next one?
Onward,
I thought was bad. And I think that's because I went into it being like, whoa, that's so cool. They're making a D&D movie. But it just was boring.
I agree. I did not love it. And I think a lot of people connect with that movie because of the relationship in the family. And I get that, but also did not get me.
No. And I have a brother who I love and fight with sometimes, and it didn't ring true to me.
Yeah. Soul
was fun to look at, but I don't remember much of it, I don't think. And it felt a lot like Inside Out with the death is like a corporation, kind of like,
right.
Like your head is
like the soul spirits up that are like waiting for bodies and stuff.
I feel like there was something in it that was like, that was fucking weird in the toys fucking die kind of way, where I don't quite remember what it was, but it was something about it was like, this doesn't quite make sense if you think about it too long. But I didn't hate that one.
Yeah, I did not love Soul. It was one of those where I honestly, it was like, I feel like I need to revisit that, because when it came out, everyone was talking about it.
Yeah.
Like if it was like one of their favorite Pixar movies.
Yeah.
And I walked out of it just being like, I don't get what everyone else gets from this.
Yeah, totally.
Luca.
Luca, I think, is a genuinely very good movie. It reminds me a lot of like
Agreed.
of a Ghibli movie, and
Yeah.
beautiful and funny.
No, I think Luca is great. That's followed by Turning Red, which I also think is great.
Yeah, I think that's great too.
Followed by Lightyear.
Lightyear was so weird. It's like not even necessarily bad, even though it is bad, but it's just like, just from the beginning when Chris Evans is like, it's a movie based on the real person that the toy is based on, and everybody made fun of that. And it's just like, this is a weird idea for a movie. And
See, I was a defender of the idea of it being, this is the movie that Andy saw as a kid
yes,
that made him want a Buzz Lightyear toy.
sure.
I love that idea. But then the movie is a boring ass movie that no kid
child.
is going to watch and go,
Yeah.
I can't wait to have that toy.
Yeah. And then the Zurg twist is just so like, how could the Zurg from the Toy Story movies be that?
Yeah.
Like, this doesn't make any sense. Yes, Andy wouldn't sit through that whole movie, I don't think. Nonetheless, be so excited about the toy.
Elemental
I didn't see.
I also haven't seen Elemental.
I've heard it's better. I think people were just still pissed about Lightyear, and they didn't see that.
Yeah.
But I've heard it's quite good.
And now we're up to date with Inside Out 2.
Elemental,
which I have not seen, but you did not enjoy.
But Elemental feels also like that. We turned this concept into people at work or whatever. Like
Right.
There's just something about I think what I like better is the ones, and this is the opposite of what they've said that they're doing, are the ones that are like really personal. Even though Onward was really personal.
But it wasn't fun.
Yeah. Just a little
like Luca and Turning Red are both extremely fun. Although like still very personal.
Little magical twists on people's everyday lives is like, I think, part of what I like about it. I feel like my hit rate of ones I liked wasn't that bad, but I think the things I don't like that make people upset with me are Up, WALL-E, and Ratatouille, which I'm close to liking. I just can't get on the same level as everybody else about liking it. And yeah, and then the other two are just like, I understand the grain of the good idea here, but it doesn't follow through the whole movie to me. Anyway, that was a long time to talk about Pixar movies, which is something that I feel very strongly about. I just think this movie, Inside Out 2, I think is very bland. And I thought Inside Out 1 was also pretty bland.
Yeah, that was our mini Pixar podcast inside of our Commitment podcast. That was really the segment where I ask you, what non-Muppet thing did you watch this week?
Yeah. Which always ends up being way longer than it needs to be.
Not usually that long, though.
No, you're right. How about you? What did you watch? Hope it's something short for your sake.
I watched the 6-episode season of season 2 of We Are Lady Parts. It's a short season. The episodes are only like 25, 30 minutes. So you only have, 3 hours to tell this story, which I think is the only downside of it, because it's a very good show. All the actors are really good. It's really funny.
Was the first season longer than that?
No, it's the same.
Okay.
But everything's just sort of has to wrap up quickly and conveniently.
Sure.
Because they have 5 main characters essentially that they have to have interesting stories, and then you only have 3 hours to tell 5 full stories, and so by the final episode or 2 they're just like, and then this fixes everything.
That's such a common problem in these days of 6 to 10 episode long TV shows. Yeah.
But especially I think when the episodes are only 25 to 30 minutes.
Totally.
Like when it's a 6-episode or 8-episode series and it's got 40 minutes, 45 minutes per episode, those ones still run into that problem, like Obi-Wan.
Yeah, right.
And I think this is, hampered even more by that because the episodes are almost half as short.
Yeah.
So there's just times when it feels like they're setting up so much, and then you realize you have 2 episodes left, and you're like, guys, do you know you only have 2 episodes left? Because you have a lot of stuff to wrap up here.
Right.
So I absolutely love it. I recommend everyone watch it. It's a lot of fun, but I will say that it's a little convenient how things wrap up so quickly.
Yeah. It's not a bad complaint to have, to say, I wish this could have been far more episodes than it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. I'm like, okay, either just make it's my same note I give to a lot of these shorter series is either make it a movie or give me twice as much of it.
Right.
Well, Sam, before we get out of here, gotta let you know what we're watching next time.
Is it Muppet Babies?
Next time, we're sticking around in December of 1986 for a few more episodes of Muppet Babies.
I think I feel reinvigorated enough after this that I can get through some Muppet Babies. I can power through them.
Well, don't you worry, Sam, because next time we'll be wrapping up season 3 of Muppet Babies.
Does that mean we're watching 4 episodes?
It does mean we're watching the
no.
last 4 episodes of
No.
season 3.
Matt, why?
And those are Muppet Goose,
Oh, God.
Bad Luck Bear,
I mean, obviously that's going to be Mother Goose. Bad Luck Bear isn't going to be nothing. This is going to... We're not going to be able to discern what the plot of Bad Luck Bear is.
I think Fozzie will think he's bad luck.
Yeah, sure.
Something will go wrong. He'll break a mirror. He'll drop something. And then he's going to be worried all episode that he has a curse. He's bad
Yeah.
luck, so he can't be around anymore.
Okay, that makes sense.
Of Mice and Muppets.
Oh my gosh. I don't even want to speculate. I guess they'll see a mouse in the playroom or something.
That's probably the safer.
That's a bad
more
name
realistic
for an episode of Muppet Babies, though.
And then Back to the Nursery.
That's a Back to the Future thing, right? Obviously, like
I think
a time
so.
travel thing.
But that's not all, because we'll also watch a weird and brief appearance by Statler and Waldorf on a December 1986 episode of the BBC show Telly Addicts.
All right. Why not?
It's very brief. It's very weird. It makes no sense to the American mind.
Telly Addicts. Yes.
But we need to thank our friend Tuna for making the music for this podcast and Cassie Wilson for singing our theme song. Don't forget to go to commitment.com for all your commitment needs. And if you want to reach out, you can email us at mail@commitment.com or sign up for our Patreon at patreon.com/commitment. You can follow this podcast everywhere on social media at commitmentpod. And you can also follow me at Matthew Gatos.
And I'm Sam Schultz.
And as always, keep believing.
Keep pretending.